Boom.
What's going on, baby? You've heard this yet. My brother Jordan Williams, though, man, man, we go back to Charlottesville days, elementary stuff. Give a few minutes for everybody to join in. Okay, you put it in the chat. Doing pretty good, bro. Doing pretty good. How about yourself? Williams, he working education though. He's looking to always looking to learn something new. Good
Awesome.
brother, good brother in know. So he's okay, all good, all good. Thanks, Rob. Good thanks. It's free. 671. What new music you been listening to though, Ted?
Is that new music?
Yeah.
Man, I'm down here. I'm still stuck on this Lil Baby album.
Mm.
Yeah. After he put that song out, I'm right back on it. Hey, Sean, quick question. I think somebody's trying to get on right now. Do you know what they're supposed to do?
Um, we don't have a password. They should just be able to click the link. But if you
Okay.
wanna,
I'll
you
say I'll
could
send it
text.
over to him.
Yep. Yep. I'm messing with that get money off that album. I
They
like
get
that.
money. Yeah, his deluxe was nice. The first one was nice and then he dropped the deluxe. He on fire right now. You could definitely feel his
Yeah.
energy. He got real good positive energy too as well. On top of what
Yeah.
he's rapping about.
He's
But
for
yeah, no, I've
sure.
been listening a lot of we've been listening a lot of vibing to a lot of reggae too. My friend actually just dropped a song that's really nice.
Mm. Some reggae. Is that the that's the one you've been promoting?
Yeah, I think my friend's been promoting, like I know Andrew might have been promoting that. But he has a good sound. So I'm excited to see what his career do from
Oh,
there. But welcome everybody. I'm excited to be on this the free hype.
Yeah, man. Excited to have you. Excited to have you. Well, we can probably go ahead and get started. I do want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. My apologies for being in the car. Please bear with me any connection, sound issues we may endure. But tonight we'll be speaking on automating your process, going with building up a customer service team, a website, um, a lot of things that can be done under just $100. Um, Connect with us if you haven't already at any of the social handles below. Um, Free Hype, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Connect with us there. We're always looking to connect with you. YouTube is another one that we're on as well. We'll talk about that a little later. Just a little bit about myself, background. Sean Freeman, for those who don't know, from Trotwood, Ohio. Always looking to connect with entrepreneurs, with really just anyone striving to go further and stronger in their career, and connecting them with the next thing, whether that be a resource or another potential connector themselves. So you can definitely reach me, screenshot this page. Definitely reach me at any of on LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm getting better at emails and Instagram for sure too. Post a lot of personal stuff, family, kids, all that good stuff. So tonight we are blessed to have a brother of me, uh, cousin, may it be, family, Mr. Tevin Holliday, hometown, Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, graduate of Kennesaw State University, um, and from area of focus being process and food. That brother is very sharp, very on his game, and always looking to um, see how something could be better. So I really admire it about Tevin. For sure. But Tevin, if you could just tell a little bit.
Hey, Sean, can you hear me? I think it might cut off just a little bit. Can you hear me,
Yeah.
Sean? Well, thank you for
Yep.
the
Can you hear me
introduction.
now?
Yeah, I'm in here. Thank you for the introduction. I'm super excited to be here on Free Hype. Like Sean said, I've been knowing it's crazy. I've been knowing Sean since I was yay high, so he's definitely seen me grown. Live right next to my grandma and my cousin. So every time I stopped up there, I definitely see Sean. So I appreciate for letting me hop on and tell a little bit about my story. But like Sean might have hit on, I actually graduated from Kennesaw State. I believe that was 2017. With an information systems background. So, I kind of in a little bit in IT. So in IT, you do have a lot of automation, um, as well as, figuring out how to improve that process. So that's a little bit about my background. I've been an entrepreneur since about 2015 when I first opened my first company, which is a clothing line. I actually still run it to this day. But I've tried many different things. That's one thing about me. I'm definitely not scared to take a risk. I've actually been um, a full-time entrepreneur since May of 2019. So it's definitely been a cool journey. Um, I'm super excited for the future. And like I said before, thanks Sean for having me on. Excited to tell you guys a little bit about process improvement.
Sure, bro. Sure. Um, Thank you once again for joining. And then, man, we can jump straight into it, I believe. Shoot. So, just being transparent. A lot of people like I don't know too much about virtual assistants. In our phone call earlier today, you definitely broke it down and made it make a lot more sense to me as to what it is, and even help a lot of other inquiring minds as to what a virtual assistant is, and just how to use it, where to go. maybe what introduced you to virtual assistants? What was the first project that you used virtual assistants on?
Yeah, that's funny you say that. The first time I actually heard of outsourcing work to like somebody overseas for like a fraction of a cost that you would pay somebody in America was actually in college when I believe somebody in my group, we had a certain part to do, and I knew this guy was gonna like wasn't on top of his game the whole time, but looks like he finished the project last minute. So I think it was like he had to write a summary or something like that. And he actually just outsourced it to like a virtual assistant from like the Philippines. He told me he paid like $15. And the whole time I was nervous because I'm like, dog, I know he hasn't done any of his work. He shows up that day done. So I was thinking in my head, like, wow, that's super smart. Like, I'm not sure if that's legal or not, but that's he made it happen. So I'm super excited about that. But that was the first time I actually heard about that. Like he paid like $15 to get a paper done. I wish I would have known that about that, back in school, like high school and stuff like that. However, the first time I actually used a virtual assistant was, for my clothing brand when I was actually trying to figure out how to, design logos and stuff like that. So, I was spending a little bit of time, downloaded Photoshop, and as you know, like you have to become a master at like a few things, like especially like graphic design. That's not something that's very easy. So, I spent a few hours, spent a couple of days trying to learn how to Photoshop, and it just wasn't clicking for me. So that's why I was like getting a little bit down on myself. I kind of just searched like, graphic designs for cheap, and boom, it popped up a website called Fiverr.com. So this website is like something that you can actually, it's called Fiverr.com because the least you're gonna pay on a job is $5. So there's plenty of people out in the world who want to do certain tasks. Yeah, appreciate that, Sean. Sean actually just put that in group chat, but there's plenty of tasks out there that people want to do that I'm not necessarily good at. So that was something that I wasn't good at, and I knew it was gonna take a lot of time, and I didn't really want to waste a lot of time trying to get this logo design. So that was the first thing I actually outsourced. It was just a simple logo. We still use it to this day, and I think I want to pay like 10, $15 for it as well. It's crazy because like $10, $15, and I've used that logo so much like after that. But that was actually the first time I used a virtual assistant, and then from there I kind of knew like, all right, the key to business pretty much is outsourcing work that you're not necessarily good at. So it's either you spend a lot of time trying to figure out that skill, or you find somebody who can do that skill. And there's plenty of people, local people, but just at the time, I did not have a budget for somebody to make my logo for 200, $300, whatnot. So that's kind of how I got started in the virtual assistants.
Man, that's cool. Now that's a gem because I definitely didn't know Fiverr was named after everything or after things being $5. That's super cool. I definitely, yeah, I got some app work done for like $10.
It's incredible. It's like why wouldn't you spend 10, $20, even if it's like $200? Like it starts at $5, but you can spend it anywhere up to $10,000. It's just you're gonna get what you pay for. But yeah, Fiverr is definitely one of the websites I use. I actually started later on. I'll show you guys actually the website I use to actually find my virtual assistants now. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sean.
No, hey, this is your floor. This is your floor. This is it's your world. So
Yeah, so if I can highlight on a little bit about how I currently use my virtual assistants. So
yep.
I started from the logos, simple logos getting made, to now I have three different businesses that I operate on. Um, one's an Airbnb business. If you guys are familiar with Airbnb rentals, it's pretty much just setting up like hotel rooms for yourself, in the homes that you may rent or you buy. Um, I have virtual assistants that take care of pretty much anything from hiring cleaners, scheduling cleaners, to customer service. So I never really had to deal with any customers. We actually just installed a auto attendant on our phone, so we never really had to ever talk to any customers. So it's kind of on autopilot right now. Like I said, they do anything from scheduling cleaners, finding the cleaners, doing customer service, making sure all the guests get in like their instructions inside, as well as to our pricing. So that's pretty much all the things that include an Airbnb business. So like it's awesome because it does run on autopilot. However, there's like a few minor things that we're still fixing, but it's cool to see just that part of that business, operated where we don't really have to touch it that much. But then recently we just launched a e-commerce brand, a health brand. So there's a big shift in health right now, and luckily we were able to do we did really great numbers our first 60 days and whatnot. And I completely outsourced my customer service because as you're selling a lot, people are going to start asking where their orders are and whatnot, or hey, my jar is broken or whatever, my product's disinfected. So my customer service team, they handle all of that. I have about 3 of those, and I usually hire my virtual assistants from the Philippines. So I don't really hear too much about any issues. Like that would be really stressful. So we get a lot of orders. So that's completely outsourced on that part. And right now we're just trying to figure out how we can automate the actual making like the product, which is honestly one of the easiest things to automate once it comes to scaling hard. But that's just one of the things we have. We have social media. They take care of our social media, so we have scheduled posts that they do every other day or whatnot. Like I have a very good system of virtual assistants who, they actually work up on our level, which is, it's not rare to find. However, you do have to, have that skill to build a relationship with your virtual assistants. But
and that's something you spoke on a little bit earlier too, which I found was huge. Was saying that or mentioning how you have to build a relationship, in order to kind of maybe even receive the best work. You can't just, think of them as like, all right, because I'm only paying you, you have, you still have to cater to that human inside of them.
yeah, exactly. Nah, really, my one of my favorite virtual assistants. This is the one who's been like, it's like my main virtual assistant right there. She's a rock star. She really takes care of anything you could possibly think of. Me and her, like I feel like she's one of my best friends at this point. Like we laugh, we talk about stuff that's really going on in the world. Once it comes, she knows when my birthday is. I know when her birthday is. So it's we definitely build a nice relationship, and I feel like it's pretty much like a lifelong relationship at this point. So anything I decide to start, I feel like she's on board with me. And I'm kind of doing that with my other virtual assistants as well too, just because I feel like that team is so strong, and you got to think like the cost that I'm actually paying them versus paying somebody locally. And it's not that I don't want to pay anybody locally. However, I rather start a business with one of my friends than pay them, by the hour, just because I feel like we all have that knowledge, and like I would rather them come into business with me rather than paying them an hour, hourly to do my customer service. Like that's not really too helpful. It's helpful for me, but it'll be more beneficial for us to start a business. So that's why we kind of outsource things like that. It's just really, you want to outsource a lot of tedious tasks that you have to do every day. We probably get like 100 emails a day. It would be nearly impossible for me to, handle those. Facebook comments, Instagram comments, all types of things right there. That's just one of the simple things we do. End of the month, we usually outsource our bookkeeping to to somebody out in like India. They take care of all our numbers, give us financial summaries and whatnot. I know I'm not an accountant, so I wouldn't put any trust into me. So that's why I, take that time to outsource to somebody who is an expert. I know a lot of people there's that quote that they say that if you want something done right, do it yourself. And that's not necessarily true, because if I'm not an expert at it, how can I actually like complete it correctly? There's like 7 billion people on this planet. Like somebody can do that thing that you can't do. If you just put it all together, then like it's really a cheat code.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely is. Um, is that something? Like, do you have these people on? I shouldn't say people, but is your team, is your contractors? Do you sign them to a short-term contract, or is everything by project?
Yes, yeah, yeah. So it's totally up to you, based off like what you really want. I kind of want to build a relationship, so I do have them sign like a agreement with us just so we could be on the same page. But you can definitely pay people by the task. You could pay them by the hour. You could pay them by by the week, just a flat rate. It's really up to your budget, and they're pretty flexible. Like I said, I outsource most of my work to the Philippines, and usually like ladies from the Philippines. Because in that it's a different culture out there. The ladies are really the ones who really bring in the most income in that in their culture. So they're always looking for work. They're pretty flexible. They kind of it benefits them because they get to work from home, so they get to take care of their children, as well as like their older folks that stay with them. So they're always looking for work. So that's why it's pretty cool about my team is because like once they knock out something, they're like asking me like, do we have anything else? So I'm like looking for stuff for them to do at this point, which is like the best problem to have.
Man, that's dope. And you use them for both Project North and the Airbnbs that you have.
Yeah, and actually we recently launched like a health supplement brand, which is actually um, probably like the most popular thing right now for us. So we completely outsource social media management to them. They create our content, they do customer service, they handle our order fulfillment. I know you're familiar with God is Dope, and I couldn't imagine what order fulfillment looks like for them. Um,
Yeah.
they're doing extremely large numbers per day, so that's just like another task that can be automated. So we use like a shipping software to organize like what products go where, how many jars go in each box, and that's actually something my virtual assistants take care of each night before we actually ship out, which is pretty dope. Because I was actually doing it at first for like, and I'll spend about an hour per, right before we start shipping. And I was taking up a lot of time because more orders started coming in, and I was just like, all right, here, y'all. What I pretty much did was just make a video, documented like you have to have real good communication and like clarity of what you want. So, I use a video software to document everything I'm doing on the computer and just transfer it over to them. Just ask them, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. So they actually have a lot of communication through themselves, and every so often they do reach out to me. But it's a learning curve. You're gonna have you have to have a lot of good communication when you're first starting off.
Yeah, sure, for sure. How cost effective are they?
Yeah, so that's the very cool thing about them. They're very affordable. So these companies, like these major companies, Coke, Apple, like it really doesn't matter. They are outsourcing their work to these same virtual assistants, right? Um, because it's so cost effective. Like you said, they can work anywhere from like a dollar to $100 an hour. It just depends what you really want. I typically pay my virtual assistants anywhere from like $1 to $10 per hour. And I know that sounds crazy. Nobody would ever work for that here in America, right? But it's simple economics. Once I'm paying them anywhere from $3 to $5 per hour, and they're in the Philippines, so that currency exchange rate, they're actually eating pretty well. They have like a decent salary, compared to like some of their peers and whatnot. So um, it's very cost effective. So even if you have a job, say if your job, you're working and you're making $20 per hour, right? And you're a side entrepreneur, so that means you have like businesses on the side, right? You're making $20 an hour. It's pretty cost effective to actually imagine like thinking in your head, I'm making $17 an hour, but I'm paying somebody $3 an hour to do work for me that's has a bigger ROI, if that makes sense. So virtual assistants is something that anybody can use, even if you have a job. I definitely emphasize like if you have a job, you should definitely be using a virtual assistant. Build that relationship with them so they can do work while you're doing work at your job instead of coming home staying up late. I can tell you about those nights too, just staying up all night late all night, trying to do some work when I could have easily just hired a virtual assistant to take care of for that, while I was doing, at my job. So that's something to think about. But yeah, you can pay them anywhere from like $1, $10 an hour, 15. It depends like what you're getting. So, simple data Data entry, maybe like $3 an hour. It just depends what you're asking for. Maybe building a website might be a little bit more, but you might be able to just do a flat rate as well too. So it's just really having that good communication, letting them know like what your budget is, because they're very flexible because they actually want to build a good relationship with you as well too. So maybe if you got to start off paying them low, they'll typically understand, and then as you start getting more money from your business, you can start paying them a little bit more, and just giving them more incentive to stay with you.
That's huge, bro. That's huge. And
Yeah,
on a
now
little
it's
bit for job.
my bad,
Maybe
Sean.
the
It's breaking up a little bit. Could you
nice.
repeat that?
Maybe to touch a little bit for your job is how's that work? As like if there may be proprietary information, things of that, what will be attached with
Yeah,
setting off
yeah.
the
My fault if I didn't clarify that up. So not necessarily doing your work like at your 9 to 5 job. You should be able to focus on that right there. But if you do have a side business, like say if you started that clothing brand or you got that Airbnb, you're gonna have to learn how to duplicate yourself because you can't be here and be there at the same time. If it's like any virtual work,
right.
somebody else can do it for you. So you're pretty much just duplicating yourself. So you got to think about it. If I'm paying somebody $3 an hour, I'm paying somebody $3 an hour to do the same work that I would do, and hopefully in return that they're making more money for you. You got to kind of remove yourself as business owners. We typically start off thinking I need to do every single thing, and that's what really hurts us in the long run because a lot of people just realize like it's too stressful, it's too much going on. So they, a lot of times they just quit, they just stop. But if they would have got that little bit of help, because it's just assistance. That's all it is. It's just like having a personal assistant to help you out, whatever it comes to, like whether you're selling a service or a product.
Definitely, definitely. And we had a question there from Tesla Shorter Dre. He asked, "Are there any specific sites that you use to find these assistants that you prefer?" I think
Yeah,
that'd
yeah,
be a
yeah. So
question to
what I'll do.
right there.
Sorry, Sean, I didn't mean to cut you off. What I'll do is go ahead and type in my favorite website right here, and I know Sean already mentioned this right here, and then we got like so really you can just type in virtual assistants, but I'm gonna actually show you if you don't mind me taking over the screen real quick, Sean. I'll show you how
You got it.
a little bit how it works. Do you want to continue? All right. So we're actually pulling up talent.hubstaff.com. I'm not sure if you guys see this up here, but come here. It says, here it is right there. It tells you straight up the free way to find the world's best remote talent. All right. Like these guys are actually experts on here. Like there's 7 billion people in this country and they're looking for work. They know people need help out here in America and they know we're willing to pay because typically Americans are kind of lazy, right? But so what you can do is come in here. You can see a few things I just looked up. So Airbnb, email marketing, Facebook lead generation, WordPress. So that's like building out websites, all types of things that I look for in here. I'll just show you a little bit how I find some of our jobs. So we just built out a simple profile with them. It's free. And I'll actually show you what I look for when I'm looking for virtual assistants. Like I said, you got to have a lot of clarity. It has to be a lot of good communication at first to let them know that you guys are all on the same page because you can hire them, but if they don't know what you want, you're not going to get too far. So like I said, we have Airbnbs, and we scaled out and got more property. So we end up adding another virtual assistant to help out with the customer service just because it could become a little bit overwhelming for one virtual assistant. So, you pretty much just name your job I named this obviously short-term rental virtual property manager. It tells you right there, we got 374 views, 64 applicants. You can see in the past, I've done the same thing. We got 282 views. So that's a huge pool right there to choose from, right? And this is all free that you're finding this. So I'll just show you a little bit of what I asked for in one of the previous ones. Let's see. That's not a good one. I'll actually go to the most recent one. And I'll show you a little trick that I got. So you come here, it says, hi. You know, we're looking for somebody to help virtually manage our Airbnb, looking for someone who has great grammar and customer service. Please click the URL to see this listing right here. So that's a listing to like what property I would actually want them to do. And then I would list out, you know, a few of the jobs that I need you to do, tasks and responsibilities, as you can see right here. And then right down here is where I actually put in, you know, a little bit of detail right here. So that I just want to see if they're paying attention to detail at all. So I put, for brownie points, please tell me in the personal message of Hub staff how many bedrooms this listing has. So that means they have to literally click on my listing and send me a message telling me how many bedrooms I have. So that right there, that weeds out a lot of people. You want to find somebody who's, you know, pay attention to detail, who's very attentive. There's plenty of people out there who are going to do it. So right there, I just listed everything I need, right? If you feel like you could do all that, or you could get trained, come on, like the job is not too hard. It's actually very simple. So that's just a little bit how we find them right there. I'll tell them a few job skills I'm looking for: customer service, email management, customer retention, email etiquette right there. And here you can actually put down your availability. So it could be a part-time, you could do full-time. Just depends on how much work you actually have for them. And then here I actually put $5 an hour. So I believe I actually did actually pay my virtual assistants usually flat rate. It's kind of like a salary for them. It's just easier to, you know, keep up. They don't actually have to control their own time, and, you know, I don't have to worry about their wasting time or whatnot. So, but once you do there, you pretty much go into here. There's going to be 1,000 people sending you messages. Now, it ain't gonna be that much, but it's gonna be a lot of people sending you messages. And from there, what you want to do is just really schedule a call. Just talk to them. This is actually someone I recently just bought on. You see, she told me a little bit about where she comes from, about what she does. And you know, I just asked her if she's interested. And what you want to do from there is hop on a call like this, hop on a Zoom call so you can actually talk to them. And what you'll come to find is that they actually have really, really good English. Like really good English. They have really good grammar as well too. And I would honestly say they have a better grammar than myself. So, you know, I just hop on a call and just figure out, you know, where they come from, see some of their previous work. That's very important when you're screening out your virtual assistants, because it really doesn't matter what their degree says or what their resume says. It's really like, what does your previous work look like and how does it correlate to this job that I'm asking you? And if I bring them on board, right before I bring them on board, I pretty much just ask them to summarize exactly what I'm looking for, just so I can know we're on the same page. And from there, you know, we just start rocking. And what's beautiful about it now is when I bought this virtual assistant on, I already had 2 virtual assistants working. So as soon as I bought them on, all I had to do was add her to the group chat. And just because our processes are well documented, my other virtual assistants were able to train her. So I didn't have to spend any time training her. She got in, like, first day she was cooking. So that's why I say my virtual assistants are some savages, really. They looking for work and they're going to knock it out for me. But yeah, that's talent.hub staff right there. That's actually, it's not, you know, too user friendly. This is actually what you can start off with. You just need some simple tasks done. You might want to come to Fiverr. I'll tell you about a cool thing I actually just did today. I actually hired this lady right here to create a voicemail for my roundtable company. So what it does is when a customer has a question, they call a certain number and her voicemail immediately pops up saying, hey, you know, thanks for calling us. We'll get to you shortly. And it just keeps ringing eventually. And then it goes to another voicemail that she has saying like, hey, we're not available right now, boom, boom, boom. Please send a message to, you know, through the Airbnb app. So that just cancels out all the calls right there. and the customers like are still kind of happy because they know that I need to send a message to them. So that's like,
Tev, you're not on mute, are you? I don't know if I can hear you. It might be my service on my end. I can see you though.
okay, let me see. Can anybody else hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, awesome, thank you. But yeah, I
TJ
was just
said
going.
he can hear. Or Antonio. Okay, so we should be good. It's probably my phone, but you got it.
But yeah, no, what I was saying is just that's just another way that I automated, my task right there. What I want to do, the purpose of that is pretty much just remove myself from any systems I have. So as a business owner, you want to be on top of your business, not necessarily in your business right there. It's too much going on like inside the business. It gets pretty stressful right there. If you're actually owning the business, that means you're actually creating freedom for yourself. And if you're not too hip, time is like the most valuable thing you have. So, you could be making all this money, but if you don't have any time, it's to hang out with your family, just relax, listen to music, chill, whatever you got to do, especially around times like this, where it's a lot going on. Like, you definitely want to be with your family as much as possible. So it really doesn't matter how much money you're really making if you don't have that time. So just with these virtual assistants, they do a good job at, releasing yourself from the system. You duplicating yourself. You're not doing too much work. Of course, when you're setting up an automation process, it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of communication. There's going to be a few mistakes, but you just got to learn from those and continue to grow. And that's what's going to really help your business grow once you actually, start to release control from it. You just stop, letting go of your ego and making sure you feel like you don't have to do everything. But yeah, that's a little bit about, how to find a virtual assistant, and just a few websites right there. There's all types of websites you can go to. There's people on there's Facebook groups you can go to, to have virtual assistants. You can use this in almost any industry, because everything is digital nowadays, right? So, if you get outsourced at work, if you have a chance to do that, then go ahead and do it. Let me see if I see any chats. And Sean, I can definitely bring it back to you if you have any questions. Sean, can you hear me? Okay.
He's probably losing connection.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. So what I wanted to actually do too is I wanted to provide you guys. I actually made a simple VA book, just a quick little guide on how to actually use this. It has a lot of the information. If you have a lot of questions, I'm sure this guy will answer a lot of the questions you may have. Let me find this chat. So I feel like it's my first time using Zoom. And somehow I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Give me 1 second.
Give me 1 second. Yeah. You hear me? Let me see. Okay, I'm back now.
Can you guys hear me still? So guys, I'm gonna actually drop the guide in the chat right here. And if you actually use this promo code right here, it's gonna be free hype. You should be able to get it free. And what it does is, after you purchase it, which is it's free,
Yeah,
it's gonna send it to your email. Definitely take a look at it. It has a lot of information. Because it may seem like a lie, it may seem like a foreign thing right now. However, once you actually take a look at this book right here, it'll start to make a little bit more sense, and it'll give you a little bit more incentive to actually start, looking for that virtual assistants to, free up a little bit of time for yourself. But let's see, I'm waiting to hear back from Sean. Let's see. Sean, I believe you're on mute.
All right, yeah, I'm driving through. But I was able to follow still, and the fact that you're able to have your virtual assistant connect to your virtual assistant, pretty, yeah, that's like super valuable. That's tripling. And then definitely grab that ebook if you guys are available. For sure, use that promo code. I'll be using that myself. Need that for sure. What would you say is like one of the biggest challenges in using virtual assistants for you?
Yeah, I would definitely say when I first started, just like communicating with the virtual assistant. So I would tell them like, this is what I need, and I would just expect for it to get done and get done how I want it. But I wasn't too clear on my instructions and whatnot. Especially I never reached out to them. I just kind of, boom, this is what I want. If you told somebody this is what I want, they're gonna have a lot of questions, and if you're not able to answer the questions, then you're not gonna really return anything too well. But just being clear with them was one of my biggest concerns and one of my biggest challenges when I first started. Finding that right person, because a lot of these people, they might just be hungry for money and they might have no previous experience. You just got to know how to screen them out. Screen out the right candidates. It's just like a job interview that, we've all been through job interviews, and, like some of the best candidates get chosen just because they ask the simple questions that, weed out, the candidates that you don't necessarily need. But, just having that communication, making sure you guys are on the same page, just making sure that they're working and whatnot. So I just showed y'all the virtual assistant I just added on. She actually creates a end of the day email report that she sends to me, and we just I kind of go over it here and there, but she's well trained, so I'm not too worried about what she sends me at the end of the day. However, it's her first week, so I have taken a look, but she's done really good. So I'm super excited about onboarding her.
That's cool. That's super cool. I'm proud. I mean, for whatever that means, I'm definitely proud of you and what you achieved. That's a lot of. I mean, that caters into that frees up a lot of mental space, for your own brain, and I'm huge on trying to create that space in your brain of things not needed. As we do begin to kind of wrap up, if you guys do have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. If you're on Facebook, we will have to get to those later because I can't switch right now. But drop the questions if you're here with us on Zoom. Drop them in the chat and on Facebook comments. But what would you say, just like some final remarks, like your couple, 3 takeaways as far as like websites, any workshops that you may have used, just resources that people can take and use?
Yeah, so one of the best books you can actually look, it's just like a real basic starter book, is it's called 4-Hour Workweek. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard about it. My brother actually got it for me, and that's why I always credit him for getting me that, because it always it sparked my imagination. It's pretty much about a guy who was working a full-time job, who wasn't really happy about his situation, and it just tells you about how he outsourced all his works to virtual assistants, and he was able to go from making a few, his salary job, to making over $80,000 a month, just because he was outsourcing all of his work. And, he had that budget to be able to pay those virtual assistants. And it just shows how he was traveling the world and how he only worked. He said he did only like 4 hours worth of work per week. And that's one of the biggest things I use virtual assistants for, is because it frees up a lot of time. Like I said before, time is like the most valuable thing you have. And it's really pointless to have all that money if you don't have any freedom. Like you said, freeing up mental space right there. There's a lot going on right now. I couldn't imagine, taking care of all these emails, customer service. I would run myself crazy. So just freeing up a lot of stress. You could literally pay somebody to take on your stress, if you think about it like that. So if you can pay somebody $3 per hour to not stress, that sounds like a great return right there. So definitely freeing up time. Once you actually start building, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, sometimes we're scared to, take that leap of faith. I definitely just say, just do it. You got to start somewhere. And if you feel like you're not as confident, go ahead and reach out to those people who can help you out. If you don't feel like you could do that one task, put your pride to the side and, get some help. And definitely invest in yourself, whether that's time, resources, education, courses, classes, whatever you got to do, the long nights on YouTube, it's going to pay off. So I would definitely say just stay consistent. It's going to be a lot of, as a small business owner, you're going to run into a lot of, failures that you may think that are failures, but in the long run, they just, as long as you learn from it, it has great value in it.
For sure. Oh, that's huge, man. Huge. I don't see any questions here on this, but I'm sure we have some on Facebook, and we'll have a lot more. Definitely be sure to tap in with Tevin at THOLID1 correct?
Correct. Oh yeah, you can definitely hit me in my email. I'm also going to put my Instagram in the chat. It's going to be noig.tev. If you get a chance, I try to drop as much value as I can on that through Instagram stories. So turn your notifications on. I'm always going to be dropping some gems. I'm not selfish. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. I want to help as many people as possible get started. It's a good year. We've been through a lot of stuff. However, we can always, flip the course, and the rest of the year is gonna be real great. You just got to think positive. It's definitely a shift right now, and I want as many people, especially our type of people, winning as much as possible. So whatever I could do to help, please reach out. If I need help, I'm not hesitating to reach out. Sean, I always reach out to Sean about something. Sean, it's a funny story. I was telling how we saw each other at that network event, and we just said,
Yeah.
How did I know you was gonna be here? I knew if there's some money involved, how did I know you was gonna be here? So
yeah.
it's cool to see our story since.
Yeah. That was a place you hear you're in the right place.
Right. That was a good event.
Might know something. Well, and hey, I super appreciate everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you to Tevin, man, for dropping those gems. Definitely won't. If you enjoy and are so inclined, we'd love to, have you on maybe next month, maybe a month afterwards for sure. To the audience, but this will be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel. Please help us get to 100 followers so I can change the URL. Currently, youtube.com/SeanFree7. Trying to get that to be free hype so everything can be succinct. But yeah, man. Hey, thanks everyone once again. This will be recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube for repurposing content. So, hey, appreciate you, Tevin. Thanks everyone for joining.
Sean, thanks for letting me come on, man. I'm super excited that where Free Hype's headed to. definitely go check out that YouTube video. You know, get them followers. So thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, guys.
Hey, thank you. Peace.